Today we execute a search warrant on the individual who was seen earlier this week distributing face shields to suspected rioters down in Los Angeles. We have made it a huge priority to try to identify, locate, and arrest those who are involved in organizing, supporting, funding, or facilitating these riots that they're going on. It appears they're well orchestrated and coordinated and well funded, so we want to understand who these people are and where this organization is coming from. And today was one of those first arrests, the key arrests that we did.
Definitely appears so. You see, they tried to call it organic, but now the FBI just arrested the man caught on video dropping riot shields straight out of a Walmart cart. And it's connected to the LA chaos for sure. Let me make sure I get it on the screen for y'all. Good enough right here. They told us it was just activism. So who's really funding the front lines of this violence? But it gets deeper, because when the media stays silent, Trump just confirmed what many feared. This wasn't random. It was coordinated. How many more levels are we going to uncover before they admit this was planned?
A little bit faster. So we have a great country, and we're going to keep it that way. And when it comes to Los Angeles or other cities, if we see other cities are gearing up, and these people are agitators, they're paid, they're professionals, they're insurrectionists, they're troublemakers, they're all of those things. But I believe they're paid, and we're going to find out through Pam Bondi and her great staff, her great people at Justice, who they are. And Mike, I think you're doing some investigations in that in Congress, but we're going to find out who they are, because they're really, I think what they're doing is unbelievably illegal. Just one thing. So they took the bricks away from people. They're walking in with satchels of bricks. Now, why do you have bricks? You have bricks because you throw bricks. They're very potent. If they hit you, they kill you. And they took them away. The military took them away. They saw him. What the hell is this? The guy could hardly carry me. Many bricks. He's a strong guy. Couldn't carry him. And they saw that, and they took him away. Then they found others with bricks. But they're ingenious. They also brought hammers along, very heavy hammers. And I saw them pounding the curb and pounding the sidewalk. And it was like a military operation. This guy's pounding strong, boom, big shots. And it was breaking up granite, the granite curbs. And the granite was breaking up, and the concrete was breaking up. And there was lines of people standing there, and they're handing him. And then he stopped handing him. They just went down and picked him up. It was so professional. I said, that's a professional organization. This is not like people at random. This guy's breaking up because they couldn't use the bricks. So who would think of this even? Did a lot of damage. A lot of curbs are broken. A lot of sidewalks broken. But I never saw that before. That's one I haven't seen. I thought I saw it all. And they have it on tape. And with that, people get killed. You know, they go to the bridges and they drop the concrete off the top of the bridge with a car coming along at 70 miles an hour, and the person dies. And we had a lot of car problems. You saw that. They were all over the...
Now, they should have some sort of camera footage out there somewhere, I would assume. But he said what most of us already sensed, that this chaos isn't convenient. It seems very much so engineered. Is this what domestic warfare looks like now? I'm serious. Branded protests with tactical drops? We're getting gear drops and protests. Now, you might have laughed when people said protesters were being paid until this next guy went viral on TikTok. If there's nothing to hide, why so many people suddenly coming forward about this?
I just got offered $200 a day to go protest ICE in New York. The organization was called No Kings. They said June 14th we're going to be protesting, and these are the streets that you need to be on, and this is what you need to do. You need to cause chaotic disruptions, and they said that there's going to be pallets of like bricks and different things everywhere that protesters could use. They really want to wreak havoc. It's kind of ridiculous. Me as an American, you know, although I need the money, I'm like, this is very, very unpatriotic. If I was to go take this money and go protest, it's not very American. It's not what I stand for. It's obviously not even you know, worth the time, but, you know, $200 a day is what they're paying people to go protest. The corruption is up here because it goes way beyond these organizations. They want to destroy America, and, you know, people like me that need money are gonna go do it. I'm not gonna go do it, but people are gonna go do it. They're gonna go destroy, you know, the city and cause chaos. It's just crazy that, you know, they're even paying people to go do this. It just goes to show that everything we deal with is corruption, and these people at the top level, like, who's paying for this? There's got to be some billionaires paying for this so that, you know, they could try to get Trump out or something. But, you know, $200 a day to go cause chaos is, like, crazy. Not worth it, but also, like, really fucked up.
Beyond that, you have people who are deliberately making attempts to destroy America. You can't make that up, man. He said it plainly, too. They offered him $200 just to show up and stir things up, create chaos. How many other people got the same message and say yes? We've seen a few videos in the last few videos that we uploaded on the channel. And when you start seeing the exact same message spread across TikTok like wildfire, that ain't grassroots. This is manufactured outrage. Y'all think I'm joking? What kind of person creates this operation of scripts for an entire movement to say the exact same talking points? Check it out. Ooh. That was too much. There was too many libs at once. But you see, it's a copy and paste revolution. Brought to you by your local activist influencer. It's not a movement when it's rehearsed. It's a campaign. Meanwhile, Democrats like Maxine Waters is still acting confused, y'all. She's still acting confused. 1 minute claiming there's no violence, the next blaming Trump for the very riots we're watching on screen. How do you lie so confidently when there's footage everywhere?
Don't miss the point, you all. Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence. I was on the street. I know. He started this. There should be no violence. He should not continue to support violence. They should not be edged on and, provoked in any way. And that's what the President of the United States is doing, to exert his power and to show that he's in charge and to show that he's going to get the numbers that he promised to get people deported. And don't miss the point. So as you can see,
she wants it both ways. Deny the chaos, then weaponize it. Y'all see how they playbook work. If Trump's the problem, why Democrat run cities leading the collapse? But Republicans like Byron Donalds, they're not playing along anymore. Especially after one Democrat compared ICE agents to Gestapo. I can't even say the word. Gestapo? Gestapo. I just learned this word in the last video. So, yeah. Watch this, though. How far they're willing to go just to shield illegal immigrants.
You said earlier that the ICE agents under the orders of President Trump are a modern-day Gestapo. Do you realize how disgusting a phrase that is, considering the history of Nazi Germany? Would you like to recant that statement?
What I said, Congressman, and I have a long history of supporting law enforcement, I said President Trump was using them as his modern-day Gestapo, not identifying who you are, coming up in unmarked vans, taking people away and giving...
Is it the responsibility of ICE to actually deport illegal aliens in the United States who are here? Isn't that their responsibility?
Yes, it is, Congressman, except that the Constitution is not an inconvenience. It's not an either or.
Nobody said an inconvenience.
You
have a responsibility to deport illegal aliens, and the president is going through that process right now. And let's be very clear, the previous administration, they abused every process there is under border laws to allow more than 10 million people into the country illegally. And this is a burden on all Americans. And so the president is doing his job. So it is sick to refer to Americans who are ICE agents as Gestapo. Governor, you're wrong. You need to apologize to these agents. They're doing their jobs. They are Americans. They serve this country with honor and decency and respect. Do not diminish their work simply because you tried to make a cheap point that you could tweet. I yield back.
Now that's how you respond. Direct, no fluff, and unapologetically rooted in facts. If more leaders responded like this, how different would this country look? And while politicians grandstand, real people on the ground are fed up about this, y'all. This black Trump supporter didn't hold back when protesters tried waving Mexico's flag over LA streets. When legal citizens have to beg for order, you know something's gone too far, y'all.
I tell you right now, if somebody says a black person, guess what I know a black person, somebody who comes from Colombia, Cuba, or Caribbean, they're not black, they're Haitian, they're fucking Haitians, they're not fucking black, they're fucking Haitians. No, we ain't even doing history shit. We're talking about today. We're talking about every time a black person gets pulled over. Every fucking Mexican ain't targeted. All these fucking Mexicans never gone through the shit that black folks went through. And they got the fucking nerve. And hold on. And they got the nerve to talk about they built this country. Those bitches wasn't here in the beginning. So I don't want to hear shit about. No, it's not about us against them. But when you fuckers, even your ass, comes out and makes this an issue, that's what we gotta look at. This is what we gotta look at it as this. You see this white person? You see your ass? This is what black folks got.
Now, of course, we don't agree with a lot that we heard. But I just wanted y'all to see what's really going down out there. You could definitely hear the frustration in his voice. You know, when did Love Me Your Country become so controversial? And when asked about all this chaos, Governor Kathy Hochul, a champion of New York's sanctuary policies, if you will, had no answers. We already seen her get demolished by Stefanik. I believe that's how you say her names. But Jim Jordan just handed her a truth grenade she couldn't defuse, y'all. If your policies are so moral, if they're so moral, why do you keep dodging the results?
Your state supports, and so do these other governors. That is what is so wrong, why the American people hate this concept.
You're conflating what the state of New York does is I control state police and prisons. We have turned over 1,300 people.
So you disagree with it?
We turn over 1,300 people. Did the sheriff make the wrong call? Those are local policies that we would not have done in the state of New York. State of New York, that is a local decision. So you're saying the sheriff's wrong? I would say this, if it happened in a state prison, we have already turned over 1,300 people.
Sheriff in Tompkins County, a Democrat or Republican, Governor?
There have been times, excuse me.
The sheriff in Tompkins County, a Democrat or Republican?
Excuse me. There have been times.
I ask the questions, you give the answer.
I'm asking
is he a Democrat or Republican?
For a second.
You know?
I'm asking for this moment to explain that I'm sometimes waiting for ICE to come pick up people. Is he a Democrat or Republican, and do you agree with the actions he took? Do you agree with the actions he took? How about that question? They are in conflict with what the state of New York would do. Well, maybe they're scared. By the way, he is a Democrat sheriff. Maybe the county guys are a little scared because you said this. I'm quoting from, it looks like the New York Times. We all know you can trust them. This is last month, May 25th. You said we have some counties that are renegade counties and work with ICE. Maybe they're nervous of being called a renegade county by their governor. So the Democrat sheriff says, we're not going to keep the machete-wielding, cop-choking, corrections officer assaulting guy. We're not going to keep him here for you to get here. We can't even wait an hour and 18 minutes. Oh, you know what else was interesting in this case?
You know what else was interesting? There was actually an arrest warrant from United States District Court, Northern District of New York, signed by Judge Wiley Danks, magistrate from Syracuse. There was an arrest warrant, and they still couldn't keep him.
The state of New York cooperates. We cooperate in removal of individuals who've served time. We respond to detention. You're confusing, and maybe there's a lesson in civics here that's necessary.
Will you say on the record right here, I got 12 seconds, will you say on the record, was Tompkins County wrong in the actions they took on January 25th, 2025, when they wouldn't hold the guy for 1 hour and 18 minutes?
Those are not the policies that we would have in the state of New York. Those are not the policies we would have in 18.
Were they wrong? Should they have turned that guy over to ICE? It's a simple question, Governor.
That was a horrible situation. The person should not have been out there. And
it's a horrible situation, but it's a yes or no question.
It is a response that this is a locality.
Do you agree or disagree?
In the state of New York, the person should have been held.
Yes or no?
The person should have been held, and in the state of New York, we would have turned him over. That is in conflict with what we would do as a state with respect to prison. And I want to know why ICE won't come and pick up the individuals who have served time in our state. I have cases where they have not even shown up.
Governor, a court order and a detainer for a guy who did the things Mr. Hernandez did, and Tompkins County can't hold him an hour and 18 minutes, and you won't say that's wrong?
I have said we cooperate when there's a criminal case where someone has committed a crime. We turn them over.
This is sanctuary policy in a nutshell. You won't even condemn something that anyone with common sense knows is ridiculous.
You're mischaracterizing.
I had the facts here. Can I do one other thing, Mr. Chairman? Now he's been rearrested, and guess what? This guy who's now been rearrested, there is imminent danger that this inmate will do injury to himself and to others and presents a threat to safety, security, and good order of the facility, so he's not permitted to leave his cell. So this guy is not even allowed out of his cell, but they let him out on the street a few months ago. That's how ridiculous this is.
When he does leave his cell, it'll go back to his country under our orders.
Chair recognizes Mr. Mfume, and I'll give you an extra minute.
You was able to see her scrambling. Caught between the narrative and the facts, obviously. But it's not just Hochul feeling this heat right now. Tom Emmer's final words to Tim Walz, I'm sorry. A message for every Democrat still defending this madness. No more excuses. No more slogans. Just accountability.
Work with law enforcement to enforce the law. In May 2020, looting, acts of violence, and arson occurred on your watch in Minneapolis after you refused to bring in the National Guard. Governor, your agenda is clear. Free health care, free college and driver's licenses for illegals while handcuffing law enforcement when they're trying to protect our citizens and their communities. If you think that's not a sanctuary state, you shouldn't be governor. By turning Minnesota into a magnet for illegals, you have opened up our communities to dangerous criminals, including known terrorists, gang members, murderers, and child predators. You have sent a resounding message that if you're a hardworking, law-abiding citizen of Minnesota, your safety and well-being are not the priorities of Tim Walz and his administration. But if you're coming to our state illegally, you're not only welcome with open arms, you're entitled to free stuff on the taxpayer's dime. This is absolutely disgraceful. Governor Walz, your sanctuary state agenda has been defined by your utter failure. You have failed to enforce the rule of law. You have failed to uphold our national sovereignty. And most importantly, you have failed the people of Minnesota. The time for radical sanctuary state policy, sir, is over. The voters made that clear last November when they elected President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. You remember him, don't you? Governor, the time for real leaders and real leadership is now. And with that, sir, actually, Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to introduce into the record the governor's tweet that I referenced from May 23rd, 2018, which makes it clear his hatred for federal law enforcement. Thank you.
Without objection, so ordered.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr.
Chair recognizes Mr. Mfume.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I have a unanimous consent request, and I'd like to present.
You're a failure. Now, that's the line that echoed, not just through the room, but across the country. If they wanted to protect us, no. If they won't protect us, we need new leadership that will. They told us it was spontaneous, y'all. They told us that it was peaceful. But now, the FBI, Trump, whistleblowers, and even TikTok users are ripping that lid off. Can't hide it too much longer. They dropping the shields. They dropping the mask. The only question left is, are you still buying the story that they selling? Or are you finally starting to see who's been orchestrating the chaos from the shadows? Let me know in the comments, man. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You could be saving their life. Peace.